Every year, more than 5 million tourists from around the world visit the Grand Canyon. But someday they might be packing their bags to go to a very different canyon that's a little bit farther away.
Valles Marineris is the largest canyon in the entire solar system. And as NASA and other Earthlings prepare for our first trip to Mars, there's good reason to think that this canyon may be a great place to visit, build a colony, maybe even a future national park. New research suggests this canyon may have one important feature essential to life. We're packing our spacesuits to tell you all about this Martian wonder today on 9 Worlds.
Valles Marineris, or Mariner Valley, is the largest known canyon in the entire solar system. It runs down the equator of Mars, spanning across nearly 20% of the planet's midsection.
It is massive, about 2,500 miles long, 370 miles wide, and 5 miles deep. It's the length of a trip across the entire United States. By comparison, the Grand Canyon is only about 500 miles long and 1 mile deep. So you could fit 5 Grand Canyons inside it at its deepest point.
That's big. Unlike the Grand Canyon, Valles Marineris has actually never been seen by human eyes, but it has been extensively photographed by an uncrewed mission to chart Mars.
Valles Marineris was discovered on the very first of these visits by Mariner 9, the first human spacecraft to orbit another planet in November 1971. During the few months that the orbiter was active taking images and returning data to NASA, it mapped about 85% of the planet's surface and sent back more than 7,000 images. Valles Marineris is named in honor of this historic spacecraft.
The images sent back changed the way we looked at Mars. It showed us volcanoes, channels, and deeply pitted landscape, and helped us learn a lot about the red planet.
Now, both the Grand Canyon and Valles Marineris formed as a result of plate tectonics and uplift. At the Grand Canyon, the Colorado River has been able to carve so deeply into the Earth during the past 6 million years because tectonic forces uplifted the Colorado Plateau during a period about 30 to 70 million years earlier. In contrast, Valles Marineris is believed to have formed about 3.5 billion years ago during a time when a cluster of giant volcanoes were growing in the Tharsis region to its west. Molten rock flowed into the area underground, causing the whole area to uplift. And as it did, the ground faulted and fractured deep into the crust and mantle. During the following 1.5 billion years, these cracks widened into the huge scar across the middle of Mars that we now call Valles Marineris. However, it's also possible that some of this Martian canyon formed via erosion and groundwater.
That's right. We said the magic word, groundwater. More on that soon. Now, if you're planning a visit to the Grand Canyon or Valles Marineris, you should know what the weather's like so you're well prepared.
Now, both canyons are found in a desert. The Grand Canyon is usually dry, but you can see snow and rain here depending on where you are and the time of year. The hottest and driest areas are in the inner canyon with temperatures topping 100 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer months, with the coldest parts being at the north rim with lows reaching the mid-teens Fahrenheit in the winter.
By comparison, all of Mars is a desert, and it's a cold and windy one too. Here you can experience wind gusts up to 90 miles per hour and dust storms that last for months.
Temperatures here are also a bit cooler. In summer at the equator, where Valles Marineris is located, you can find midday temperatures around 70 degrees Fahrenheit sometimes.
Ooh, quite comfortable.
Yes. However, at night during the Martian winters, temperatures plummet and likely could be negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit or colder.
So maybe bring a jacket. But one item you may not need on your Martian trip is water. Unlike the Grand Canyon, where you absolutely need water and a lot of it to survive the hike, recent research suggests that there's underground water layers at Valles Marineris.
Scientists have detected an unusually high quantity of hydrogen right in the heart of the canyon. Findings from the Trace Gas Orbiter suggest that at a depth of about a meter below the surface, the soil here is rich in water, probably as ice, but maybe bound with minerals. And the data also suggests that there's a lot of it. Maybe 40% of the material in this area appears to be water.
Now, we already know that there's water on Mars. We can see it at the 2 poles.
But finding water at the equator is unexpected. Water ice usually evaporates here because temperature and pressure conditions don't sustain it. So there must be something special about this area of the canyon that is allowing water ice to exist just under the soil. Scientists aren't exactly sure what makes this water ice so accessible and plentiful here. They have compared it to permafrost areas on Earth, like Siberia, where water ice persists under the dry soil because of constant overall low temperatures.
This finding has two key implications.
First, water stored in a permafrost-like state may preserve frozen fragments of microbial life or organic molecules that once existed on Mars. So this means it's a great location to try and learn about the history of life on this planet.
Second, it also presents some exciting opportunities for humans looking to explore Mars.
Absolutely. The equator is a good spot for a crewed mission to the planet. So if water can be found here relatively close to the surface, this will be a critical asset for humans as we look to chart a successful in-person visit to Mars. NASA is currently working to make your Martian travel dreams a reality with the upcoming return to the moon on the Artemis mission, where they'll use what they learned to launch humans on their first crewed trip to see the red planet in person. So who knows, maybe someday soon you'll take a family space trip to hike the canyon of Valles Marineris, pausing on your trail to stare back into space as you watch the two Martian moons, Phobos and Deimos, rise in the sky.
Until then, we're glad you came on this journey with us today. It would be stellar to see you again on this 9 worlds planet, maybe sometime soon. Bye!
Did I say Valles Marineris? Valles, Valles. I know what we're doing today. It's fine.